Welcome to this reading of the Book of Monotheism by Imam Ahmad al-Hassan. From him is peace. Addendum 4. The Almighty said, "Do they await but that Allah should come to them in covers of clouds, and the angels as well, and the matter is then decided? And to Allah all matters are returned." The Holy Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, the cow, 2:10. And in the Torah, the book of Numbers, the 12th chapter, 5. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. 6. And he said, "Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream." 7. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. 8. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently and not in dark speeches, and the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Note 1. And in the Torah, the book of Exodus, the 16th chapter, 10. Behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. 11. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Note 2. And in the Torah, the book of Exodus, the 19th chapter, 9. And the Lord said unto Moses, Lo, I came unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. Note 3. And in the Torah, the book of Exodus, the 24th chapter, 13. And Moses arose up, and his minister Joshua, and Moses went up into the mount of God. 14. And he said unto the elders, Tarry ye here for us, until we come again unto you, and behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man may have any matters to do, let him come unto them. 15. And Moses went up into the mount, and the cloud covered the mount. 16. And the glory of the Lord abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And the 7th day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud. 17. And the sight of the glory of the Lord was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel. 18. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud, and gat him up into the mount. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. 4. Note 4. And in the Torah, the book of Exodus, the 33rd chapter, 8. And it came to pass, when Moses went out unto the tabernacle, that all the people rose up, and stood every man at his tent door, and looked after Moses, until he was gone into the tabernacle. 9. And it came to pass, as Moses entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended, and stood at the door of the tabernacle, and the Lord talked with Moses. 10. And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door, and all the people rose up, and worshipped, every man in his tent door. 11. And the Lord spoke unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp. But his servant Joshua the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. Note 5. And in the Torah, the book of Exodus, the 34th chapter, 4. And Moses rose up early in the morning, and went up unto Mount Sinai, as the Lord had commanded him, and took in his hand the 2 tables, or tablets of stone. 5. And the Lord descended in the cloud, and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of the Lord. 6. And the Lord passed by before him, and proclaimed, the Lord thy God, the Lord God, merciful and gracious, gracious, long-suffering, and abundant in goodness and truth. 7. Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity, and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, and upon the children's children unto the third and to the fourth generation. 8. And Moses made haste and bowed his head towards the earth and worshipped. 9. And he said, If now I have found grace in thy sight, O Lord, let my Lord, I pray thee, go among us. For it is a stiff-necked people. And pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for thine inheritance. 6. And in the Torah, the book of Psalms, the 97th Psalm. 1. The Lord reigneth, let the earth rejoice, let the multitude of isles be glad thereof. 2. Clouds and darkness are round about him, righteousness and judgment are the habitation of his throne. 3. A fire goeth before him, and burneth up his enemies round about. 4. His lightnings enlightened the world, the earth saw and trembled. 5. The hills melted like wax at the presence of the Lord, at the presence of the Lord of the whole earth. 6. The heavens declare his righteousness, and all the people see his glory. 7. Confounded be all they that serve graven images, that boast themselves of idols. Worship him, all ye gods. 8. Zion heard and was glad, and the daughters of Judah rejoiced because of thy judgments, O Lord. 9. For thou, Lord, art high above all the earth. Thou art exalted above all gods. 10. Ye that love the Lord hate evil. He preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked. 11. Light is sown for the righteous, and gladness for the upright in heart. 12. Rejoice in the Lord, ye righteous, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. Note 7. And in the Torah, the book of Psalms, the 99th Psalm. 1. The Lord reigneth, let the people tremble. He sitteth between the cherubims. Let the people be moved. 2. The Lord is great in Zion, and he is high above all the people. 3. Let them praise thy great and terrible name, for it is holy. 4. The king's strength also loveth judgment. Thou doth establish equity. Thou executest judgment and righteousness in Jacob. 5. Exalt ye the Lord our God, and worship at his footstool, for he is holy. 6. Moses and Aaron among his priests, and Samuel among them that call upon his name. They called upon the Lord, and he answered them. 7. He spake unto them in the cloudy pillar. They kept his testimonies and the ordinance that he gave them. 8. Thou answeredst them, O Lord our God, thou wast a God that forgaveth them, though thou tookest vengeance of their inventions. 9. Exalt the Lord our God, and worship at his holy hill, for the Lord our God is holy. Note 8. And in the Torah, the book of Psalms, the 104th Psalm. 1. Praise the Lord, my soul. Lord my God, you are very great. You are clothed with splendor and majesty. 2. The Lord wraps himself in light as with a garment. He stretches out the heavens like a tent. 3. And lays the beams of his upper chambers on their waters. He makes the clouds his chariot, and rides on the wings of the wind. 4. He makes winds his messengers, flames of fire his servants. 5. He sets the earth on its foundations. It can never be moved. 6. You covered it with the watery depths as with a garment. The waters stood above the mountains. 7. But at your rebuke the waters fled. At the sound of your thunder they took to flight. 8. They flowed over the mountains. They went down into the valleys. Note 9. In the Gospel of Matthew, the 24th chapter, 29, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. 39. And knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. 40. Then shall two be in the field, and one shall be taken, and the other left. 41. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, one shall be taken, and the other left. 42. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. 43. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. 44. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh. 45. For who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? 46. Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. 47. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. 48. But if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming. 49. And shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken. 50. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of. 51. And shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Note 10. In the Gospel of Matthew, the 26th chapter, 63, and the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God, that thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God. 64. Jesus saith unto him, Thou hast said, Nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. 65. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He has spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses? Behold, how we have heard his blasphemy. 66. What think ye? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. 67. Then did they spit in his face, and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palms of their hands. 68. Saying, Prophesy unto us, thou Christ, who is he that smote thee? 69. Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also wast with Jesus of Galilee. 70. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. 71. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. 72. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. 73. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech betrayeth thee. 74. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. 75. And Peter remembered the word of Jesus, which said unto him, Before the cock crows, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. Note 11. In the Gospel of Mark, the 13th chapter, 24, But in those days after that suffering, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. 25. And the stars will be falling from heaven, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. 26. And they will see the Son of Man coming in clouds with great power and glory. 27. Then he will send out the angels, and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven. 32. But about that day or hour no one knows, neither the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. Note 12. In the Gospel of Mark, the 14th chapter, 61, again the high priest asked him, and said unto him, Art thou the Christ, the Son of the Blessed? 62. And Jesus said, I am. And ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. 63. Then the high priest rent his clothes, and saith, What need we any further witnesses? 64. Ye have heard the blasphemy. What think ye? And they all condemned him to be guilty of death. 65. And some began to spit on him, and to cover his face, and to buffet him, and to say unto him, Prophesy. And the servants did strike him with the palms of their hands. 66. And as Peter was beneath in the palace, there cometh one of the maids of the high priest. 67. And when she saw Peter warming himself, she looked upon him and said, And thou also wast with Jesus of Nazareth. 68. But he denied, saying, I know not, neither understand I what thou sayest. And he went out into the porch, and the cock crew. 69. And a maid saw him again, and began to say to them that stood by, This is one of them. 70. And he denied it again. And a little after that they stood by. They that stood by said again to Peter, Surely thou art one of them, for thou art a Galilean, and thy speech agrees thereto. 71. But he began to curse and to swear, saying, I know not this man whom ye speak. 72. And the third time the cock crew, and Peter called to mind the word that Jesus said to him, Before the cock crows twice, thou shalt deny me thrice. And when he thought thereon, he wept. Note 13. In the New Testament, the book of Revelations, the first chapter, 7, Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierce him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Note 14. And here begins the notes. Note 1, the Old and New Testament, Volume 1, Congregation for Eastern Churches, page 231. Note 2, the Old and New Testament, Congregation for Eastern Churches. Note 3, the Old and New Testament, Volume 1, Congregation for Eastern Churches, page 117. Note Note 4, the Old and New Testament, Volume 1, Congregation for Eastern Churches, page 125. Note 5, the Old and New Testament, Volume 1, Congregation for Eastern Churches, page 142. Note 6, the Old and New Testament, Volume 1, Congregation for Eastern Churches, page 143. Note 7, the Old and New Testament, Volume 1, Congregation for Eastern Churches, page 901. Note 8, the Old and New Testament, Volume 1, Congregation for Eastern Churches, page 902. Note 9, the Old and New Testament, Volume 1, Congregation for Eastern Churches, page 905. Note 10, the Old and New Testament, Volume 2, Congregation for Eastern Churches, page 45. Note 11, the Old and New Testament, Volume 2, Congregation for Eastern Churches, page 51. Note 12, the Old and New Testament, Volume 2, Congregation for Eastern Churches, page 81. Note 13, the Old and New Testament, Volume 2, Congregation for Eastern Churches, page 85. Note 14, the Old and New Testament, Volume 2, Congregation for Eastern Churches, page 395.